Okay, so everyone, welcome to the marketing session number 5, which is about creating customer value, satisfaction, and loyalty. Um, in this chapter, we will talk about questions: what are customer value, satisfaction, and loyalty, and how can companies deliver them? What is the lifetime value of customers? How can companies both attract and retain customers? And how can companies deliver total quality? And finally, what is the database marketing? So we are going to discuss all these questions in this chapter. We'll cover them one by one. Okay. First question is, what is loyalty? By loyalty, we mean a deeply held commitment to rebuy and repatronize a preferred product or service in the future despite situational influences and marketing efforts having the potential to cause switching behavior. Okay, so what we mean by that is loyalty is not something that happens to every company or every customer of yours would be loyal. So loyal is something, your loyal customers are those customers who would have a long-lasting relationship with you. They have a deeply held commitment to rebuy your products in the future and repatronize, re-support you. And probably a product, a certain product or service of yours, they rather, and they're going to patronize it in the future. So, and that will be despite the fact that other competitors will try to have them switch over to them, to have them buy their product rather than yours by using their promotions or advertisement or marketing. So loyalty and the customer loyalty is very important in the long run, and you would like to have your customers be loyal customer of yours. You want them to rather buy from you compared to other competitors. Okay. Then again, we have this idea of value proposition. We discussed a lot about how we as companies or organizations, we are trying to propose value to customers. So the whole cluster of benefits the company promises to deliver. So basically, the benefits that you deliver to the customer altogether will be the value that you propose to your customers. Loyal to us. To answer your question, Mr. Mohammed, loyal customers mostly are those customers who would stay with the company that they prefer, even though they might find products or services that are slightly better, because you have developed a relationship with them over time, that it's not just because of the product or service, just because of the value, the relationship and the bonding that they have with the company, that they stay. So when a customer gets to the point that they are loyal, it's very hard that they will go and switch over. So yes, even though they might find a slightly better product, they would still rather stay with you. So that's the definition of loyal customers. So as we discussed here, the value proposition is the whole cluster of benefits and features that you provide to your customers. Then the other aspect here is measuring the satisfaction of the customers. So in order to measure the satisfaction of the customers, you would run periodic surveys. We talked a lot about research and how to run surveys in the last session. So you know how to do surveys. So companies do surveys. Or customer loss rate. What is the rate of your customer loss? Tells a lot about your customer satisfaction. If the customers are happy with you and they are leaving, there's something wrong. Mostly they leave you when they are not happy. So the customer loss rate, mostly there is a very high correlation between the customer loss rate and the satisfaction of the customers. So if you have a high attrition rate of your customers, you would know that you don't have that much of a happy customers. And mystery shoppers. Mystery shoppers are those shoppers who would pretend they are customers, and they would go and yeah. So the customers, you would pretend you're a customer, and you do go to the shop and make some shopping, and then according to that you rate the seller or the service provider. So I've done that before for a university. I pretended I'm a student, and I did do a survey for the company. So as a mystery shoppers. Monitor competitive performance. So one other way is to monitor all the time how your company is conducting a competitive performance, and that's how you measure the satisfaction of the company. Then product and service quality. Quality is the totality of features and characteristics of a product or service that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs. So service quality is the totality and the features that your product or service is offering, and giving you the the total quality of the service or product, and how much satisfied your customers are out of those products or services. Then for quality, we have two factors: conformance and performance. Conformance is dealing with fitness to use, means how good your product is for that certain use that you're promoting it for. And the performance, of course, is the performance. So performance would be more of a measurement for the product against comparing the product from other companies and against your company. But conformance is more of a use of that product to the need that you're promoting it for. Let's say if you are promoting your mineral water for giving vitamins to the daily consumption, so your conformance would be providing all those minerals and making sure that your water is healthy and everything. So it's just walking the talk and being able to provide your promise or what you are advertising is your conformance. But your performance is how you perform. How good you are at that is a different concept, and you can always benchmark with the other companies also. Then TQM is about the total quality approach, which is improving the quality of all organizations, processes, products, and services. A good example would be the company General Electric. They have been doing it for a long time. The concept is taken from Japanese Kaizen, which is change is good, which is solely about how we should improve the quality of our products or services or processes continuously. So that has been adopted by a lot of American corporations and a lot of global corporations. Now they try to make sure that their quality and their service quality or their product quality is improving continuously. Okay. Then maximizing customer lifetime value, the customer profitability, the customer equity, and lifetime value. We talked about this. Customer profitability is how customer will bring profit to your company. The customer equity is the total value you get from all your customers generally. And lifetime value is the concept that it's kind of new, but I mean, in marketing, it's kind of new, but it's been there forever. That the idea is that you treat your customers as your lifetime customers. Your customers, you want to see what benefit you will get for the lifetime of your relationship with them, because the customers will, it's not just they buy this product and that's it. You want them to come back and buy and buy. So in the future, the whole benefits you get from the customer over the years of your relationship is called your lifetime value. And yeah, we did talk about the conformance. Conformance was fitness to use, as I said, and as an example. I said if you're providing mineral waters and you're saying that you're providing these vitamins and also these minerals, you got to make sure that you have those certain stuff in your product, and it's really benefiting. I mean, that certain minerals and vitamins are really necessary. So that's conformance, means you are really meeting what is required to do. But performance is where your performance is measured. So these together are parts of the quality. So here we have an example. Annual customer revenue, let's say it's 500. Average number of loyal years is 20. So you multiply that and then divide it by the profit margin. So you get to 1,000. So that's how you estimate a lifetime value. Then drivers of customer equity, value equity, brand equity, and relationship equity. So basically, the customer equity, we have the value that we get from the customer, and the brand, I mean, it's both ways, and the relationship. So the customer will know what value they get, what is the brand value, and they pay for, and the relationship. So altogether is what you get the benefit from the customers. Then CRM, which is customer relationship management, there's a framework for that. So identify prospects and customers. For customer relationship management, you need first to identify who are your customers. Let's say if you are running an institution that does the private tuition and tutoring, so who are your customers? Probably you're teaching the high school students or primary students or certain type of customers. So first you need to identify your customers. Then differentiate customers by needs and value to the company. Then you need to know, okay, these type of customers, we group them together because let's say they need more classes, let's say high school students because they just went to the next level, so probably they would need more. And then the primary school, you know, so it's how you group the customers according to their needs. And then interact to improve the knowledge and customize for each customer. So you always interact with your customers to update and improve your knowledge about them and make sure you are providing the products or services that they really need. And also you customize for each customer. Of course, you have a standardized version of your products or services, but you always try to customize it according to their needs, trim it and make it fit their needs, and probably make changes where the change is necessary. Then there are certain strategies to customer relationship management. First, you try to reduce the rate of defection. Defection and problems to your products or services are always bad for you because it will make your customers angry. When they come back, it's an inconvenience for them. So you want to make sure you reduce your defection rate to the minimum level possible. Then you increase the longevity. You increase the long-term, relationship with the customer. You want to make it longer. Then enhance the share of the wallet. Means that you want to get the bigger share of the pie. You want the customer to invest more in your company and buy more of your products compared to other products. So you want always to increase the amount of the consumption of your products and services with the customers. You want them to buy more. You want them to buy only from you, perhaps if you're, let's say, providing certain product. Let's say you're providing napkins, and there's so many different brands out there. You want them to buy only from you or more from you compared to others. And then terminate low profit customers. Low profit customers are always expensive to companies. We need the high profit customers. I mean, that is a concept that is very important to companies. The customers that you would like to manage a relationship with are those customers that are long-term relationship, bring you a lot of profit. And I mean, it's not that you don't want to help the other customers, or you want to say no to a customer because they're still bringing you benefits. But when you're dealing with customer relationship management, CRM, basically, Mr. Ibrahim, is customer relationship management. So when you're dealing with customer relationship management, providing that to short-term or low-profit customers is much more expensive than those long-term loyal customers. So that's the concept. So we are trying to focus on the long-term customers who are profitable to the company, and we as a company earn more from them. Then focus more effort on high profit customers. That's what I was discussing. And then we go to the next slide. So mass versus one-on-one marketing. We have different types of marketing. Sometimes companies decide to do mass marketing to just create awareness and reach out to the people out there and try to make themselves known to the customers. And then one-on-one marketing. So basically on mass, we focus on average customers, customer anonymity, and a standard product, mass production, mass distribution, mass advertising, one-way message, economics of scale. So these are aspects of mass marketing. We just deal with the average customer. The customer is anonymous. You don't know who the customer is. It could be anybody. Then it's like a standard product, a basic product that you offer. It's just the mass production as much as you can, and mass distribution to as many people as you can, and mass advertising. Try to use a basic advertisement that is suitable for as many people as possible, and it's just one-way message. You just send out the message, and it's just one way, and the more you create, the cheaper it will be for you. It's like economies of scale that we talked about. Then one-on-one is, or one-to-one is different. Is when the customer is individual, then you have a profile for that customer, then you're tapping a customized market, and then customized product. And economies of scope means that instead of a scale, means the number is more of what you do for the customer, like the type of products or services that you will provide for that customer, and then the share of the customer, how much of their wallet you would be able to, to get. Then customer retention is keeping the customers. So acquisition of customer can cost 5 times more than retaining current customers. So that's very important. When you lose a customer, if you want to gain him back or gain a new customer to replace that customer, it will cost you 5 times more. And just try to keep your customers happy and loyal. So by a good customer relationship management, you can retain your customers and save that cost. So it's very important to understand that when you lose a customer, it's so costly to your company. So be careful of that, and always try to keep your customers happy. The average customer loses 10% of his customers. The customer losses basically is 10%. So 10%, there are companies that are losing their customers. And then 5% reduction to the customer defection rate can increase profits by 25 to 85%. Can you imagine? Just if you just reduce customer defection rate by 5%, that can benefit you 25 or 85%. So that's a very good investment. That's why you really need to take good care of your customers. You need to understand that customer is the one who's paying for your products and services. So keep them happy, keep them where they need to be, and make sure that they get what they really want. Then the customer profit rate increases over the life of a retained customer. So the profit that you get off of a customer increases over the life of a retained customer. So the profit, basically, when you are just selling some product to a customer, it's just you get a certain amount of profit. But if your customer is a loyal customer and it's a retained customer and it's a long-lasting relationship over the lifetime of the customer, you will be getting much more benefits. So then there are different dynamics to a market. You have permanent capture markets, are those markets that we capture them permanently. Simple retention markets are those that we are able to keep and maintain simply for certain product or service. And customer migration markets are those that the customers are moving into. So these are different types of markets that we need to tap. So when we are doing the marketing, we need to be able to tap all these different types and all these different customers that have different needs and requirements. So you want to make sure that you have all the criteria to meet and you have whatever is required on your customer side to keep them happy. So these dynamics kind of guide you through how to keep your customers in that certain market. So it tells you a lot about their preferences and what they really like. Then we are trying to build loyalty. Like you want to make your customer loyal. So basic loyalty, as I said, is just a long-term relationship that you would have with your customer. Reactive is how you will react when the customer expects you to, when the customer is demanding something from you. You're going to make sure that you will react accordingly and keep your customer loyal. Be responsive, actually. And then accountable means that you being accountable and responsible and holding yourself accountable to what customer requires from you basically keeps the customer happy. Then you need to be proactive. Proactive sometimes means instead of being just reactive, you initiated the conversation or relationship with the customer or reconnecting to the customer and make sure that the customer stays happy. Then out of partnerships with certain other companies or certain group of markets, you'll probably be able to create and build loyalty. And that's also a marriage of different companies, because some companies, they already have certain customers as loyal, and then when you merge together or partner with that company, they would be loyal to you as well. So in that case, it's just becoming bigger, and it's like there are more opportunities. And reducing the customer defection. So as I said, we are always trying to reduce the customer defection. So you always define and measure retention rate. So first, you define what is the rate of the retention, the customer retention, and then you measure it. And then distinguish causes of customer attrition. So you always try to understand why some of your customers are leaving you. Exactly, write it down and understand it and try to remove those causes, because those causes are those that are costing you a lot because you're losing your customers. And if you want to gain them back, as I mentioned, it's like much more costlier than if you want just to keep your customers. Estimate profit loss associated with loss of customers. So what is the loss that associated with the loss of certain customers? Sometimes losing a customer would be better than keeping that customer, that certain customer, because that customer might be a low profit customer. As I mentioned, we always want to keep the high profit customers. Of course, we will try to entail and get as many customers as we can and satisfy them all. But what I mean is the major profit that we get is from the high profit customers. says cost to reduce defection rate. Okay, what is the cost to reduce the defection rate? Because as I said, defection is one of the first stop signs for customers. The moment you have a defect, the customers will think twice next time that they want to buy something from you because your products or services are defective. So it's very important to be able to reduce them, but sometimes you need to do a cost-benefit analysis and see what are the benefits you get out of that, the estimation. And gather customer feedback. You always need to gather feedback from the customer because that's the way you communicate with them. You understand what are their preferences, what they want, what they need, and out of that you'd be able to, better your services or products. Then forming a strong customer bonds. So additional benefits and additional social benefits and structural ties. So by forming a strong customer bonds, you are creating good bonding with your customers. You will add financial benefits and add social benefits and structural ties to your customers. So you got to make sure that your customers are getting financial benefits from you, social benefits, and structural ties. So all these are ways for you to create that bonding with the customer and keep them loyal and attach them to yourself. So it's not that you just create a product and sell it to the customer. It's more complicated than that. And as a customer relationship management tool, you always try to attach some benefits, financial benefits, social benefits, and then some ties with your customers to make sure that they stay with you. Because you don't want to lose your customer. The moment you get the chance to get a customer, you got to make sure that you retain and keep that customer. So that's very, very important. Then database key concepts. So as of the database, the information system tools, you have a database for your customers, for your marketing, for mailing lists, because you will always try to mail or email your customers to update customer association costs. Okay, I'll get back to customer association costs as somebody wanted to some more explanation on that. Then business database is your business database, the whole database that you have. Data warehouse, where you keep your data, and data mining is the general or the overall storage of your data, where you keep all your data and how you access that. So all these are the concepts of databases and how you deal with them and how you utilize them for your marketing. And then so basically, you use your database to identify the prospects or customers, target offers, what kind of offers you can offer them, then deepen and increase the loyalty of your customers, reactivate customers, and to avoid mistakes. So by reactivating customers, we mean that those customers that used to be your customers and they stop, try to bring them back and give them what they really want, their requirements and needs. And then you want always to avoid mistakes and try to decrease the amount of defects and problems. Okay, data mining, the purpose of data mining is because as I said, data and information is, you want to keep that because later on when you want to buy that bag, you have to spend money. So what the companies are doing, they are just storing their information, and out of that information they get knowledge, because when you study and review and survey your information that you have gathered in your data mining, you will get the knowledge, and the knowledge is one of the best strategies for you to gain competitive advantage, because you would know certain behaviors of the customers, and out of that you would be able to to do your marketing in a more efficient and effective way. So that's what happens, and that's why we need data mining. And to answer the question of Mr. Ahmad, I don't know exactly where you get that from. You didn't have anything called the customer association. Where did you get that, the customer association cost? Okay, I don't know where you got the customer association cost. Probably you might mean the customer retention cost. Customer retention is to keep that customer. Okay, so I believe that is your question. Okay, so here is the end of the chapter 5. Is there any questions so far? Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Okay. So chapter 6, we are talking about analyzing consumer markets. How do we analyze consumer markets? That's our chapter. And basically, we will answer the questions: how do customers' characteristics influence buying behavior? What major psychological processes influence consumer responses to marketing programs? And how do consumers make purchasing decisions? How do marketeers analyze consumer decision making? So these are the questions that we will answer in this chapter. So the first question is, what does really influence the consumer behavior? So there are a lot of factors. Some of them are cultural factors. Different cultures will call for different consumer behavior. So the consumers from different cultures have different preferences, different needs, different requirements. Social factors. There are different societal levels, different societies that have different type of factors and needs and requirements and behaviors, so that will influence the consumer behaviors. And then personal factors. Each and every individual has their own behavior. So at all these levels, your customers would be different and they would act differently. So at the individual level, societal level, and cultural level. And because of their culture, because of their social factors and personal factors, they would have different type of preferences. So that's how you would know their behavior, or you could just at least get some idea about their general behavior when they fall into the category of one of these. Okay, so what do we mean by culture? The culture is the fundamental determinant of a person's wants and behaviors acquired through the socializations process with family and other key institutions. Okay, so basically culture is a fundamental factor in determining the person's wants, what the person really wants, and their behaviors. and it's basically acquired from different key institutions like family, like society, like the city that they come from, the country that they come from, or the region that they come from. All these are important in making some culture. So and it's like one of the fundamental, like the basic ways for a person to understand his or her needs and wants. So according to the region that certain customer comes from and that culture, they will have different preferences. Then under that we have subcultures. Subcultures are different aspects of a culture, like subcategory of a culture, like nationalities, religions, racial groups, geographic regions, and special interests. So as you can see, culture is the umbrella term where it captures more, and then under that we have nationalities, people from different nationalities. They have different subcultures or different religions or different racial groups or geographical regions and special interests. So as you can see, all these are involved when a customer wants to make a decision and a purchase. So fast facts about American culture. So you can have these kind of fast facts about any culture. Like these are just an example from a bunch. So fast American culture. The average American, they chew 300 sticks of gum a year. Goes to the movies 9 times a year. Takes 4 trips per year and attends a sporting event 7 times each year. So what these tell you? These tell you about the behavior, the American consumer. So if you are in a gum company, you know that they have certain level of, that's quite high for a customer. So you know that the market is there. So that gives you something. And then if you're still a gum company and you know that they go to movies 9 times, so you make sure that you do advertisement in the movies and in the cinemas, because you know that they go to movies a lot, so that's where you can promote your chewing gums. And then they take a trip 4 times a year, so you would try to link that, how that will affect your business. And then there are sports events. So all that matters, all these little facts that you have about your customers, you being in any of the markets, will give you some idea how you will be able to tap that market and how you will be able to present your products and sell it to your customers. So that's extremely important. So is there any questions so far? Is everything clear? Do you have any comments or anything you want to share? Okay, let's go to the next slide. So in every society, they have social classes. This is more of an American social class thing, but every society has one of its own. So in American social classes, we have upper uppers, lower uppers, upper middles, middle class, working class, upper lowers, and lower lowers. So as you can see, the more sophisticated or the more developed your country gets, the more layers your society gets. Some societies might have only like upper class, middle class, and lower class. But the reason you see so many layers is because of the advanced economy, or like the level of advancement of the society makes it scatter into so many different layers. So that's like an American example. For other places, they have other different social levels. Then characteristics of social classes. So within a class, people tend to behave alike. So as you can see, we have been talking about the customer, how they behave, how the culture influences their behavior. So basically, social class could be a nice and very important clue for a marketeer to be able to sell a product. So when you know that a certain level, like upper level or lower level, those people in that certain group, they would behave similarly to each other. So as long as you find few of them and understand how they prefer their products or services, then you would almost could say that to a certain extent you know it about all those people in that category, in that certain social group. Social class conveys perception of inferior or superior position. So according to the social class that you're from, let's say if you're from upper or middle upper or any of those classes, there is a certain perception of you. I mean, you as a customer or you as dealing with a customer. Then the social classes may be indicated by a cluster of variables like occupation, income, wealth. Sometimes that certain type of class or social class, they'll have a certain type of occupation or incomes or wealth. Like a good example is like the CEOs or managers of the society. Mostly they land on the upper level of the society, so like upper or upper lower, you know. So you know that those type of managers or you know, the leading part of the society is probably where they would have those type of jobs. So it's good to understand what class you're dealing with, and according to that class, there are certain perception of that class. And the class may be indicated by a cluster of variables, like, yeah, we talked about it, and class designation is mobile over time. So there is also the times that customers or people can move from one social class to a lower or upper class according to changes in their occupation, income, wealth, or anything that happens to them. So are we following? Any questions so far? Okay. So back to social factors, there are certain aspects that we deal with. Reference groups is when customers are referred to a group, like what type of group they are, what type of you know, groups they would make and socialize with and deal with, and what group of people are we dealing with. And then the family, what type of family they have, well, where do they stand in the market, what type of business they do, and all those kind of things. And then social roles, what kind of roles do they play? According to different roles of your customers, there will be having different preferences or requirements or wants from your products. And then the statuses, like social factors, the customers might have statuses in the society or in the market, like active, inactive, active, and all those kind of things. So reference groups is like digging deeper in that. It's like membership. If they have membership in any organization or anywhere, if they're primary or secondary, aspirational or disassociated. So all these reference groups and all these factors are very important in choosing how to deal with your customers and basically what your customers would prefer. So if your customer has a membership in certain group, they will have their own preferences. Or if that group that they are a member is a primary group or a secondary group, that has some implications in it also. And then if they are aspirational or dissociative, if they are aspired and excited about the group that they are attached to, or if they want to be away from or try to show themselves away from certain group of people, that's how you will see that the behavior of the customer will change, and according to that change, you need, as a marketeer, you need to take action. So before I go any further, let's pause for a second. If there's any question, please feel free to ask or write it down. Okay, seems we have no questions. So let's go and move on to the next slide. Then the family of orientation will basically has a major role in the customer's religion, politics, and economics. So the family that they come from will basically has a very important role in determining their religion and their politics and economics. And the family of protection means everyday buying behavior will be also changed. So the family aspect of a customer is also very important. How when they come from a certain type of family, let's say from an upper class family or a lower class family, how it affects them and what their preferences they would have. So according to that, you will be able to make decisions and to do your marketing. Okay. Personal factors. So there are some, we discussed that there are Mr. Qiyasi, where did you get the procreation? I don't know where you get the procreation. Let me know, and then we'll discuss it. So personal factors like individual, the customers as an individual. Last slide. Okay, yes, right here, family appropriation. Yeah, it's basically what it does means family. Yeah, it's mostly regarding the everyday buying behavior of the family. It means that because orientation is basically what type of family you have, what type of beliefs and everything you have. Family procreation is reproduction and how you will go and change and evolve. The evolving kind of thing through the times. So basically what we mean here is your everyday buying behavior is coming from your orientation, but for your procreation is how you will recreate and evolve and change according to different times and everything. Okay, I think we covered that. There was another question up there. Was okay, it was about religion. Yes, religion is one of the aspects of the family family's orientation. So sometimes religions of the customers will tell them to buy certain products or not to buy certain products or to consume certain products on a certain day because of certain religious event or something. So that's how it will affect. And knowing that as a marketeer, you will be able to target that type of customers because you know that they have the needs according to their religious event. So that's why it's important, and that's how it's connected to their behavior. So we covered that. Then the brand personality. We have different types of brands with different types of different type of personality. Certain brands have sincerity with them and associate sincerity. Certain type of brands will have excitement. Certain type of brands will have competence. Certain type of brands have sophistication, and some of them they have rigidness. So by that, the customers will try to associate themselves with those brands. So if you have a customer and your customer is probably sincere, they like a brand that has the same kind of meaning to it. So they would rather something that reflects their personality. So you will try to re-emphasize that aspect of the brand when you are targeting that type of customers. So it's more of the approach that you take to make sure that the customer will get what he or she really wants and what he or she really cares for. It's more of satisfying their personal preferences. So when you are doing marketing like Levi's, they do a lot of rugged or tough kind of advertisement to show like for tough guys or tough girls, they want this type of jeans. So there are certain customers who will buy that idea. Or for some other advertisements, they bring excitement. They say like those who are excited and they are really happy or overjoyed are buying these products. So that's how they target that type of people, and that's how they reflect that in their brands also. Okay, then we have key psychological processes. There are certain psychological processes in order for customers to make decisions and to have them choose or decide what to do and what not to do. There is a motivation. When they are motivated, then you motivate the customers. That sort of pushes them towards the decision making for buying a product or a service. Or perception. You try to manipulate or change their perception in a sense that you want your customers to think of your company in a certain way. So how you play and how you create a certain perception that you're looking for in a marketing project will help you to get what you really need, because you want to make sure that the customer thinks what you want them to think. It's not the matter of not having integrity or lying to the customer, but it's the matter of how you present yourself. So what customer perceives as you will end up what they think of you and what you really end up being, because you need to understand what the customer thinks of you will basically have a very direct effect on what type of decision he makes. So perception is very important. Learning, there's always learning involved. Sometimes when you're doing marketing, you want to make sure that the customer learns about a certain product, and by learning that, you're creating a need, because before that they had no idea that this product exists. But now, after you have this discussion, then you know, oh, they like this type of product, and then you will sort of adopt it. And then memory. Memory is where customers have certain memories in their mind or in the history or somewhere that helps them to decide or makes them to decide for certain things or against certain things. So that's also a behavior, kind of behavior that is important for you as a marketer to understand, to be able to use it for your own benefit. Okay, let's pause one more time. Is there any questions so far? Are we clear? Okay, so while there is no question, let's move on to the next slide, right? So then we have certain aspects to motivation. So we have different theories of factors that causes people to do stuff. So Freud's theory is well known to everyone. Is basically, it says most of the causes of our actions is sexual. So that's why you see a lot of companies they take that as an approach, and they say it's a drive for their needs, and that's why they sort of implement it in their advertisement. Then Maslow's theory on hierarchy, it's also well explained in your book, and it's basically how customers will evolve through different levels. So basically, you start from the basic needs and requirements, and then move up the ladder and try to actualize yourself, or stuff like that. So to be specific, and I want to just read it from your book. It's on your page 163, where the first you start from the physiological needs, like your food, water, and shelter, and then you go up from your safety needs, like your security and everything, then your social needs, and then your esteem needs, and then your self-actualization needs. So what Maslow in his hierarchy said is that we start from the basic, so the food and shelter. So as we grow, then our needs will change. So when your basic needs are satisfied, then you have safety needs, then you have social needs, and then you have self-recognition or self-esteem needs. And you see that in the markets also, and in different societies. So where Freud is basically saying that all our behaviors is due to our unconscious behavior and unconscious mind. You know, every motivation is due to certain type of innate feeling. Maslow is trying to say that there is an evolvement through our needs. So in a sense, Maslow has a more in-depth plan compared to Freud, in the sense that he says when the basic needs are met, then we sort of grow, and then we have other needs like safety or social or esteem needs, and that's how our needs would change. So he is sort of questioning Freud's theory in the sense that it only works for a certain amount of time or a certain period of time. After we evolve and change, then our motivation will change. And Hesberg, two-factor theory, is basically distinguishes from the dissatisfiers from satisfiers. So some dissatisfiers are those that cause dissatisfaction, and satisfiers are factors that cause satisfaction. The absence of dissatisfiers is not enough to motivate a purchaser, so satisfiers must also be present. So let's say if you are dissatisfied with a certain product, that's not enough for you to go and buy my product. I need to have some satisfier for you to be able to buy mine. Because I say, okay, you're dissatisfied with this product. Okay, I have dissatisfactory factors here. So because of that, you will go and buy my product. Are we clear here? Okay, very good. These are very conceptual and theoretical, but these are good to understand because in your business you would like to understand your customer, and these theories explain a lot about customers and their behaviors. And understanding customers' behaviors is very important, especially Maslow theory is very, very interesting, and it explains a lot. I mean, I will encourage you to study it more from the book, and it will give you a very good insight. Then perception. So perception management and how you perceive. So selective attention. You try to get the selective attention of your customers, and then out of that, you will make sure that they pay attention to what you want them to pay attention to, because a lot of what happens in the market and marketing, so to speak, is because of the perception management. So you manage the perception of the customers, and you make sure that they selectively attend to certain factors that you want them to pay attention to. Then selective retention. You make sure that you re-emphasize those when you bring their attention to certain things. You make sure that you also emphasize and re-emphasize them. And then selective distortion. You want them to forget certain things. And subliminal perception. So it's like subcategory of just that major perception that they get. So they perceive something first, then you emphasize them, and then selectively try to remove some of the perceptions, and end of the day, you also derive certain perceptions. So these are just like they go all along together. So in any marketing process, you have them all together, and you make sure that your customers pay attention to what you want them to pay attention to. You want them to remember certain things. You want them to forget certain things. Not that you are sort of shattering necessarily their mindset, or trying to present it in a way that for that certain product or moment, they would just think of what you wanted to think of, so that they'll see what you are trying to say. So it's just a matter of making a good presentation of, you know, making a good presentation of, yeah, whose microphone is causing this noise? I think it's me. Okay, I think it's good now. Okay, good. So, yes, so it's just a matter of perception management, how you manage the perception of the customers. And that's how you deal with your marketing. Then, consumer buying process. So, for every consumer buying process, there are certain steps. First, you need to recognize the problem. The customer needs to have a need. There should be something wrong that you need to say, okay, because of that problem, you need this. So then you do some information search. You look for the answer. Okay, I need, let's say, I need to grind my meat. I need to, let's say, I need to mix or blend my fruits or my cake ingredients. So that's a need, right? So then you look, what are the solutions? How could I get what I want? And there are certain companies like Black & Decker or whatever that they are doing that kind of products that you're looking for, and they have different benefits for their products. And then you get to evaluate. I say, okay, Black & Decker offers this, and then this other brand offers that. So which one should I go for? I mean, it's just a matter of sizing them up and see which one meets your needs better, is the good value. And purchase decision is when you evaluate and you choose, and then you make the purchase. And then you have a post-purchase behavior, sort of, you know, when you buy that, you keep on buying the next product or next complementary products from that certain brand, or you just switch and go to the other products. So by understanding this process as a marketeer or as a company, you'll be able to deal with your customers, and you'll be able to recognize what your customers need, or what you offer them as solutions, and how you link all these together so that your customers, end of the day, will come back to you for the next solution. Okay. And then, what are the sources of information? Of course, you have personal sources of information, like your own information or other personal information that you have. You have a book or certain information that you get from different places, or commercial information. You know, there are a lot of commercial informations out there online or in the market or even in the stores. So you would be bombarded with all this information. Then the public information, what do you see on the news and the TV and everything, is like the public or the general information. And then experimental. Some customers or some certain people will run some experiments on those products to make sure they meet their expectation or what they say, or, you know, all those different aspects. So there are different sources of information, and each and every one of them has its own benefits and shortcomings. So you can't just rely on only one of them, but it's what makes you to make the decision and make the purchase end of the day is probably a mixture of all these information together, and that you get some idea of what you are facing. Okay, so let's pause for a moment. Is there any questions so far? You can raise your hand, you can just write it down there. I just want to make sure you're following and everything is good, and, you know, you're on the right track. Since there is no questions, so let's go to the next slide. So what I want you to do here is to understand that this non-compensatory model of choice is dealing with purchase decision. So when we are making a purchase decision, we have different types of choice. So one of them is conjunctive, which is you set a minimum acceptable cutoff level for each attribute, and you say, okay, that's the minimum that I want. I mean, we're talking about the customers. So these are different models of customers making choices. So the first one, conjunctive, is when the customer says, okay, I have certain minimum levels of requirements. I want my laptop to, let's say, perform like Windows XP or Windows 7 or run the Microsoft Office. That's all I need. That's the minimum I need, at least, right? So as long as the laptop you're giving me can do that, I'm fine with it. So that's conjunctive. That's when you just say, okay, these are my limited minimum requirements. If you give it to me, and then I can probably make the decision. Then the next one is the consumer chooses the best brand on the basis of the perceived most important attributes with the decision rule. Like, you just say that this brand is just because of it's best on only one of the perceived most important attributes, then I just choose that one. Let's say, back to the computer example, if you just choose a computer just because of the CPU, let's say it has the best central processing unit compared to all other brands, and just because of one aspect you choose that, then that's when you do a lexicographic decision. Then elimination by aspects. When the customer compares brand on attributes selected probabilistically, where the probability of choosing an attribute is positively related to the importance. So when you rank the importance, let's say, okay, I am a designer, okay? For designer, I need, let's say, a good graphic card. So that's the most important one for me. Secondly, I want to play some games on my computer. So I need some good CPU also, so it can process and has a good RAM. So that's the second one. So you rank all those importance and you choose accordingly. So you do elimination by aspects. So that's also important. So why are we doing this? Why are we studying that? It's because we need to understand certain customers choose one of these approaches to make the decision. So for us to be able to meet their needs, we need to understand how they think and how their mind works, so that we can present our products in a way that it appeals to them. So that's how we deal with marketing. We gotta understand your addressing. If you're promoting a product or service to a customer and you don't understand what goes in his or her mind, then you won't be able to be a good marketer. So then we have some risk involved, so always when there is decision making, there is risk involved. So there is always a functional or physical or financial risk, or there is also social or psychological or time risk. So these are the what goes in the mind of the customer. So they say, okay, when I move and switch to this product, there is a risk that it might not function as good as my previous product used to function, or the physical changes, or the financial is probably more expensive or less expensive. So these are all the differences that the customer will size up in their mind. Or there's a social, probably the class like this is like a high-end customer product or low-end, you know, those are, or psychological stuff in the mind, or the time that they have to spend to learn how to use that product. Those are all different aspects that goes in the mind of the customer and make them choose or not to choose a product. Then other theories of consumer decision making. So it's like involvement and decision heuristics. So involvement is elaboration likelihood model, low involvement model, and variety seeking model. So there are different aspects to that also. So basically, elaboration likelihood model is an influential model of attitude, information, and change. Describes how consumers make evaluations in both low and high involvement circumstances. So it's like when they're involved or not involved, they act differently. So how they would be persuaded to buy the product. So when the attitude formation of change stimulates much thought and is based on a diligent, rational consideration of most important product information. And peripheral route is when the attitude formation of change is much less thought and results from the association of the brand, either positive or negative. So basically, what we mean by that is they consider all different aspects of the product, like whether they're highly involved or low involved, and at the same time there are different cues for them to make the decision. What are the persuasion, like the major central persuasion or the side persuasions for them? So they size it up, and finally they become the decision maker. Or where there is low involvement is basically for those products that they don't take much, like salt. Consider salt. Salt is a product that you would just switch. When you go to the shop, you don't look for a certain brand, most probably. You just take it, whatever comes to you. So that's how low involvement it is. But the first one, elaboration, is you're so involved. You're just trying to size up every single aspect of the product and then make the decision. So you see what is the difference. The elaboration likelihood model is you see all different aspects of it. First you size it up, you compare, then you make the decision. But low involvement is you don't care. You want salt. That's all you need. I mean, a good example is, can you name a salt company? Can you name a brand for salt? It's mostly we can, because we just don't care. We just buy salt and it doesn't matter to us. It's a very high street chain in there. And then variety seeking behavior is where you just it's still low involvement, and you do a lot of brand switching. You just switch from one brand to another, one brand to another. So that is also another one. Then what are the rules of thumbs of making a decision, whether it's available, whether it's representative, or anchoring and adjustment? So availability is when the consumers base their predictions on the quickness and ease of which the particular example or outcome comes to mind. So how easy it is to get that for a decision. Then representativeness is when their predictions on how representative or similar outcomes is to other examples. So it's just you're trying to size up and see what are the similarities of some product or packaging to something that you already know or use. So then it's based on representativeness. And then anchoring and adjustment is when initial judgment and then the adjust is based on additional information. So first you have a certain initial judgment, and then you make some adjustment later on according to some information you get. So all these are theories in making decisions, and the reason they're taken mostly from psychological theories. But the reason we are going through all these, which might look quite confusing, but they're very simple and straightforward, because when you look at them, it's just a matter, it's just what happens in each and every one of us when we are making decisions. So the reason we are trying to understand them better is just because as a marketer, you're helping customers to make decisions. So knowing these will help you to help them make that decision in a timely manner, and you want to make sure that the decision they make is probably your product and what you are selling to them. So altogether, I mean, end of the day, we are consumers. What happens in their mind, they just segregate gains, means that the sellers have a product with more than one positive dimension. That they evaluate each dimension separately. So they when they want to buy a product, they want to make sure they size it up in all different aspects and make sure they gain in all different aspects. So that's when they do segregate gains. Then they integrate losses is when the marketeers have a distinct advantage in selling something if its cost can be added to another large purchase. So basically, let's say it happens when you go and buy computers a lot. So you're paying a huge amount for your laptop, and then buying just a mouse pad or some minor cost will not be that much for the customer, because it will be added up to the total cost, and it will be nothing compared to the to the bigger cost. So that's when you have an advantage. Then integrate smaller losses with larger gains. So the cancellation principle might explain why withholding taxes. So sometimes when you're paying taxes and you're just getting a little money, you consider that as a saving. You know what I mean? So that's what you can use in your marketing skills. When they make smaller gains, they don't consider that as a loss. But later on they have to pay for it. But what I'm saying is, let's say they have to pay a tax on a general payment that they're making for a certain product they're buying. But then, if they gain something, there will be tax later, but it wouldn't show immediately. So that's how they just make the money from there right away, and they will later on, size it up. So the larger payment is what comes to their mind. The smaller payment wouldn't be that much of a big deal. And then the other one is just the opposite. Is the popularity of rebates or big ticket purchases such as cars. When you segregate the small gains from the large losses, you just get very minor gain from a big loss. So saying that will be the end of the chapter 6. So I want you to do this task for me. Okay. For marketing, I want you to write four cultural facts about your society. So the task is, please name 4 cultural facts about your society. Facts. So okay. Please name 4 cultural facts about your society. So we understood that, like, average American does this. So give me some facts about your society. And Okay. So you can start working on them and then share with your classmates. You can write it down or talk about it, and then we can go from there. So take your time. Just come up with 4 facts about your society, some cultural facts, and let me know. Okay, anyone wants to share his example? Okay, Mr. Barak. Very good. Mr. Yassi, please go ahead. I can't hear you, Mr. Yassi.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. One of the cultural facts in our society is that during the Eid Ramadan, or the small Eid we call it, people usually buy lots of different kinds of sweets and candies from the market.
Oh, okay, good.
and use it at home and for their guests. And during the second one is during the big Eid or Eid al-Qurban, where people buy lots of sheep or cows and cattle for the slaughtering. The third one is that for the Nowruz or the New Beginning Year Day, many people come from different parts of Afghanistan to the northern region, Mazar Sharif, which is an issue of gathering, an issue of for the hotel. It's also an issue for transportation, public transportation. And the other is the home-based, as also already explained by one of the classmates also. The home-based watching the satellite dishes and different channels.
I see. Great.
Thank you. I wanted to mention this one.
Very good. Very good. Okay, that's great. Very good examples. So with that, I would like to end the class. Please send the answer to the task to my email by end of the next day. I did send you the slides again, and I talked to the admin, and they said you do have all the slides online, so you can always further. And if you have any, if you're experiencing any problem, please connect the admin. So with that, I would like to thank you for attending the marketing class, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.